In the dimly lit streets of 18th century France, where the scent of rot clung to the air like an unshakable omen, a boy was born with an insatiable hunger, one that defied human understanding. His name was Tarare. From the moment he could chew, he devoured everything in sight: food, scraps, even things no human should ever consume. His family, horrified by his never-ending appetite, cast him out, forcing him to wander the streets, begging for food like a rabid dog. But this was only the beginning. No one knew that Tarare's hunger would lead him down a path of grotesque horror, one that would make even the bravest men shudder. Tarare's body was an abomination. Despite eating enough food for 10 men, he remained disturbingly thin, his ribs pressing against pale, stretched skin. His stomach swelled grotesquely after a meal, only to flatten within hours. He sweated constantly, reeking of a putrid stench, an odor so foul, so unnatural, that doctors recoiled at the mere thought of standing too close. He joined a traveling freak show, swallowing live animals whole to entertain gasping crowds. Snakes, stones, baskets full of apples, nothing was beyond his grotesque abilities. But with each act, his hunger only grew. It was not sustenance he sought. It was something deeper, darker. The French Revolutionary Army, desperate for recruits, took him in, hoping his grotesque abilities could be put to use. They tested his endurance, pushing his stomach to unthinkable limits. He devoured entire buckets of food, raw meat, even a whole eel, alive. But no matter how much he ate, his body demanded more. Then the army gave him a task, a dangerous mission that would prove his abilities were far more than a mere spectacle. He was to become a courier, a man who could swallow secret messages sealed within wooden boxes and transport them across enemy lines. The logic was simple. No one would suspect a man whose stomach could devour the evidence whole. But this was where Tarare's nightmare truly began. Tarare was captured. The Prussian army, suspicious of his bloated, grotesque form, detained him. He was tortured, starved, and forced to expel his stomach's contents. The secret message was found, and he was beaten within an inch of his life before being thrown out like filth. For the first time, he was afraid. The hunger gnawed at him more ferociously than before. It twisted his mind, whispering dark temptations. He found himself sneaking into hospital rooms at night, rummaging through medical waste, eating corpses, drinking blood. His thirst for flesh was insatiable, and then the unthinkable happened. A baby disappeared. A helpless newborn child vanished without a trace. The hospital staff searched every corner, every shadow, but the truth was too horrifying to accept. Someone had eaten the child. The moment their eyes fell upon Tarare, he knew. He knew they had realized the horror he had become. The doctors could not contain him any longer. He was cast out once more, left to wander the streets, an insatiable beast in human form. His body, riddled with disease, decayed from the inside. He reeked of death, his stomach writhing with rot. But even as death's grip tightened around his throat, the hunger remained. When he finally perished, the doctors dissected him, desperate to understand the monster within. But what they found was beyond comprehension. His stomach was enormous, stretching impossibly far, yet inside, there was nothing. No reason, no cure, only hunger. And to this day, his case remains one of the most terrifying medical mysteries in history. What if Tarare was not the only one? What if something like him still walks among us? The sky stretched endlessly over the Bass Strait, a vast expanse of water that had swallowed many secrets over the years, but none as eerie as the one that took place on the evening of October 21st, 1978. A young pilot, 20-year-old Frederick Valentich, set off on a routine flight from Moorabbin Airport, Melbourne. He was confident, experienced, and had dreams of soaring through the skies as a commercial pilot. But that night, he encountered something no one could explain. A terrifying encounter that would seal his fate forever. At exactly 7:06 p.m., Valentich's voice crackled over the radio. His words sent chills down the spine of the air traffic controller on the other end. "Melbourne, this is Delta Sierra Juliet. There's a large aircraft above me, moving at an incredible speed. It's not an aircraft I recognize. It's just hovering here." Then, static. A moment of eerie silence. And suddenly, he spoke again, his voice now laced with fear. "It's playing with me, flying over me, circling me. This is not a conventional aircraft. It's shining some kind of bright green light. I don't understand what's happening." As Melbourne air traffic control scrambled for answers, they found no radar readings of any aircraft near Valentich's location. Nothing at all, and yet he insisted that something was there, something unnatural. "It's coming right at me. It's not an airplane. The transmission cut off for a moment, only to return with a sound that no one could ever explain. A metallic scraping noise, distorted, unrecognizable. Then, silence. Valentich and his Cessna 182L vanished. No distress call, no emergency landing. Just gone. Authorities launched an extensive search over the Bass Strait, but there was nothing. No wreckage, no body, no sign of impact. It was as if the ocean had swallowed him whole. But what made the incident even more unsettling were the reports that followed. Several witnesses came forward that night. Fishermen, residents along the coastline, even boaters. They all reported seeing something unnatural in the sky. A strange green-lit object moving erratically, defying the laws of physics. One witness, a fisherman, claimed he saw a bright light descend rapidly before vanishing over the horizon. It wasn't a shooting star. It wasn't a plane. It was something else. Something not from here. Then there was another account. An elderly couple who swore they saw a metallic, disc-shaped object hovering over the water minutes before Valentich's disappearance. Speculations ran wild. Was it a military experiment gone wrong? A UFO encounter? Or something even darker? Despite decades of investigations, the Valentich disappearance remains one of the most perplexing aviation mysteries in history. No wreckage was ever found. No remains. No clues. All that remains is the chilling radio transmission. The last words of a young pilot who vanished into the unknown. "It's not an aircraft. It's coming for me." And then, the eerie metallic noise. Did Frederick Valentich stumble upon something he was never meant to see? Was he taken, abducted by forces beyond our understanding? Or did he fall victim to a tragedy we may never explain? One thing is certain. The Bass Strait still whispers his name. And to this day, no one knows what really happened that night. In the year 1150, in a small English village named Woolpit, something inexplicable happened. An event that baffled historians, scholars, and villagers alike for centuries. On a warm autumn afternoon, as farmers went about their daily routines, something strange emerged from the deep, dark wolf pits near the village. Something unnatural. Two children, a boy and a girl, stood trembling at the edge of the pit. They were not like any other children. Their skin was green, their clothes were strange, and when the villagers tried to speak to them, they only mumbled in an unknown language, one that had never been heard before. Who were they? Where did they come from? And what was the sinister secret behind their eerie green skin? The mystery of the green children of Woolpit has never been solved. But their story still haunts this village to this day. The children were discovered by reapers, men harvesting crops in the field. At first, they thought their eyes were deceiving them. No child should have had such unnatural green skin. The boy was younger, fragile and trembling. The girl, slightly older, clung protectively to him. When the villagers approached, the children recoiled in fear, whispering in a language that no one understood. Their eyes darted around, terrified, as if they had suddenly woken up in a world they did not belong to. The children were taken to the home of Sir Richard de Calne, a nobleman. They refused to eat for days, crying in hunger but rejecting every food placed before them, bread, fruits, and meat. Until one day, A villager brought out a bowl of raw beans, and the children's eyes lit up in desperation. They ripped open the stalks, eating the beans hungrily without even cooking them. What kind of children would act this way? What kind of creatures could survive only on raw beans? The boy, weak from hunger and fear, grew sick within weeks. His skin, still green, became pale and lifeless. One night, he closed his eyes and never woke up. The villagers buried his body outside the churchyard, away from the others. Some feared he was not of this world. The girl, however, slowly adapted. Over time, her green skin faded, and she learned to speak English. When asked where she came from, she described a place unlike any other. A land where the sun never shines. A world of eternal twilight, where everyone looks like us, with green skin. She called it the land of St. Martin. She spoke of an underground city, connected to Woolpit by a secret tunnel. She and her brother had wandered too far, and before they knew it, they emerged from a cave into a blinding world of light. The villagers listened in silence, their faces pale. Had the children really come from beneath the earth, or had they escaped from something far worse? Some whispered that they were changelings, fairy children left in place of stolen human babies. Others feared they had walked out of the realm of the dead. But the most terrifying theory? What if they were not lost, but sent? Years later, the girl grew into a woman and lived a normal life. But she never spoke of her past again. She refused to return to the wolf pit. She never tried to find her way home. And whenever someone asked if the land of St. Martin was real, she simply smiled, a smile without warmth, as though she knew something they didn't, as though she had seen something she could never forget. Some say she was the last of her kind. Others say she was never human at all. And even today, when the night is quiet in Woolpit, some claim to hear the sound of children whispering from beneath the earth. The story of the Green Children of Woolpit remains an unsolved mystery. Were they lost children from another land, or something not of this world? And most importantly, are they still waiting beneath the earth for the day they can return? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And remember, some mysteries are never meant to be solved.